Hello again, everybody. Thetymix here. Welcome back to Let's Play Motorsport Manager. Head start for Hawkins Race 7. As I do believe we've essentially got this locked up strategically with one possible fly in the ointment. And that's the continued decline of our financial situation. I'm going to need to find a way to... basically, it could get low enough that we go bankrupt or whatever. I don't know what that line is. So, that's really the only thing that can knock us off that I can see at the moment. Otherwise, we've got a little over 2.5 weeks till Cape Town, where we're going to want the gearbox, the brakes, and the front wings at their optimal capacity. And let's get to that. Just over a day there. JTV Sport having the question. Has to go down as dream weekend for you. What was the secret? This team is excellent. Okay, so a not all that dramatic race, actually. Diaz won it easily. Let's look at boosting our parts. You can see we're, all of these, we're getting lower and lower, but it's far enough into the season and our lead is big enough that, frankly, it just doesn't matter that much. Pull off the suspensions and go to some front wing work. And these are going to be finished before the race. So we're going to have to watch these closely and then switch on to other parts. So that would indicate that we're probably getting fairly close to the end of this. So what are we going to want to go to next? Looks like the end. Okay, yeah, the exact opposite three parts are crucial in the next race. So it doesn't really matter where we go. Okay, so we're looking at sunny for the race, no rain. Let's get moving here. So I want to stop every few days and see where we're at. And it looks like this is maxed. So let's pull that one out. Oh, but it says it can still improve a little, so it just doesn't, like, it's a fraction of a point. Because it would be blank like that otherwise. Okay. I've heard a few rumblings from the mechanics. They're not very happy working in the factory. They do have quite long hours. What should I tell them? Give them all a bonus? 500K, or tell them to deal with it? Yeah, I'm going to have to tell them to deal with it. There's nothing else for it. And I think that's going to spike our fuel economy bonus that Diaz has. But frankly, it wasn't making that huge of a difference anyway. Okay. Yeah, it's just spreading out the improvements to the other parts, it looks like. It didn't stop. I wanted to stop on that. Okay. Okay, Hawkins is telling us how good we are at doing first. Staff is idle. The ride handling facility, improving the suspension, Anna Roth think that's important. It is, and we can't afford it. Cape Town, 64 laps, 2.3 miles, so fairly short. Favors acceleration. We've still got the best gearbox and softer tires, even though it's an abrasive track. So that's interesting. 64 laps. There, so it's going to be a long race in terms of number of laps. Alright, so we were going to put the other three in. And we're just barely going to finish this before the race. So we're going to have everything as maxed out as it can be. Worried about the money. Yes, we know. And Anna Ross saying we're going to extend the lead. I would agree with that. Diaz saying there's plenty of time to catch Harrison. You're tied, so there's not a whole lot of catch. And Wolfgang Schmidt hoping to have a big race. Not really a whole lot new there. Yep, and everybody's idle. There's, sorry Simone, there's nothing else we can do. We have completed everything we can do to improve the car. Now, I think the last time in Munich, you can see we didn't actually make the qualifying bonus. However, I think that was probably a fluke. Perhaps not. But if we look at our car, we're still number 1 in acceleration, number 2 in deceleration. We're only 6th in the low speed corner, so that's a concern. But I'm going to say we're probably good enough that I want to stick with the higher level sponsor bonus. May not be able to do that later, but I want to do it for this race. See, 9th or above, not a huge difference in funding, so we may need to go to that. And see, it's going to be cold, 15 and then 12 both of those days. So, I think we may be running super softs during the race. We'll see. I think that's how I want to run it. Because I may need any of these, but that should be enough to get us through whatever we go with. I'm probably also going to be able to work up the trim, the bonus for all 3 tires, given how short of a track it is. I think I've at least got a shot at that. Diaz projected 3rd. And Harrison projected 2nd. This is the first race we are not projected to win. Let's go show them how wrong they are about that. Okay, let's roll on with that and get set up here. So yeah, Wexler went about 0.3 seconds faster. Wexler and then Diaz and North in that next group. A full second behind otherwise. So Chapman finishing 4th. And Dieter Wexler says, I wish they gave out point for practice. Oh, that's a nice little comment, I think. On to qualifying. See if we can break out of what happened last time we finished in the top 2. Ultras and qualifying, naturally going to be where we go. nearly half a second ahead of the rest of the field. Not only did we do well in qualifying, but we drilled it. I think part of that is this track is better for our cars, and also part of it is just we spent more time on ultras in practice than they did. So I think you combine those two and you get this result. But obviously very happy with that, getting our sponsor bonus. And we'll definitely be sticking, I think, with the number 2 qualifying. Surikov having a terrible day. Wexler happy with his qualifying, needs to convert it into a win. Well, not unless you race better than that, because we're feeling pretty good about things. It's going to be a contest between Harrison and Diaz up front. So we could, I mean, hopefully, if let's get a bad start, we just storm away from the field here. So, do we want ultras or supers? You always want to get off to a good start, but we are going to run most of the race on supers. Still, you know, it's a tough call, I think, in this situation. But I'm going to go with, you know, the race trim, and I'm going to go with the supers for Harrison, because he's only going to have the one set on the ultras. And then I'll go with the fuel economy and the race trim for her, even though I don't really need to. And I do want to drop off, as I mentioned the other day, just drop off one more lap of fuel for each. So we're going to stay where we are. And 64 laps. So we'd normally be looking at 43. Well, probably about 45. We'll go to 44. Because 2/3 would be 43, and then plus 2 would 45. We'll drop down to 44 for Harrison, and then we'll go with 42 on Diaz. I just want to start tightening up that fuel situation to give us more speed. But not too much. Don't want to be running out either. And of course we'll only fry everything as much as we need to. So Harrison not looking great. Diaz driving better. I have a feeling Diaz probably goes to the lead and wins this, but we'll see. Wexler behind, not great. Then we've got Oliveira, Holtz in 5th, and the others. Oh, well, only Schmidt is on softs. We've got a lot of drivers around the 6 mark. Lippinen, they're down in 10th at 7. So a lot of drivers looking to have a pretty good day, at least solid, you would call that. And here's Harrison in the lead. Can he hold it? And looks like Oliveira comes with us, but Wexler, look at Oliveira challenging right away, going to the lead. Good grief, Anna. Wow, just bolting through like that. That's incredible. You got to take your hat off to her for that, and now we got a fight on our hands. As Diaz trying to catch up. I mean, that was just a brilliant maneuver there by Anna Oliveira, who then loses the spot. But Anna Oliveira of Windsor Racing now back to 3rd, where she belongs, I might say. And there's Diaz out ahead. And Harrison catching up. Okay. Let's switch to high. Just for a bit here. Yeah, we're pulling out enough now. Let's go to medium. Try to switch back to neutral now. I'll wait just a bit longer before doing that with Harrison. That should be about right. So I think I want to come in now with Diaz. Might be able to make one more lap around. Let's not push that. Let's come in, grab another set of ultras, and get back out there. And then Harrison probably could do back-to-back pit stops, but there's no need to. Harrison, you know what? You go ahead and push, and you come in the next time. Switching on to Super Softs. And you'll be able to take a longer run then at that point. So Diaz coming out in third. Did get passed by Wexler, but Wexler's tires are going to go away quickly. So let's hope that, basically the idea is I'm hoping he comes in and pits before I, yep, and there he's coming into the pits. So that's going to be good timing for me because we're not going to lose anything there. And here comes Harrison in soon. Oh, well, we're trying to get by him now anyway. You see those ultras just fading. There we go. And now Diaz is back up to first. Go and go neutral for a bit here on those tires, Roger. And how did Saarinen get ahead of us? That's weird. Wexler going into some used softs. What the world is he doing? There's going to be so much traffic on this track. I'm honestly not going to try adjusting speed. At least not now to get through it. It's just going to be like, you know what, get through whenever you can. As Harrison starts working his way through some cars. But he is going to need a push for purpose of tire wear. And Diaz, you have one more lap to go. So you're going to come in after 29 laps. Yeah, you're definitely going to make two stops on the Super Softs. Hoping to get about 18 laps out of each, give or take. Stop at about lap 47 the next time. So if you stop at 47 and Harrison stops at 50, if he makes it that far. Yeah, he's not going to though. Tires are going too fast. So that means it's going to be a 3. He's going to stop just as many times. Just slightly different spots. So I actually think I want to keep him on push because I want him to come in before too much longer. I think I want to have him stop at 32 and 48. And what I'm doing there is just spreading them out. Like instead of running 2 sets of tires down really low and then having the other tire, you know, only use about half of its decent wear. You know, I want to spread them all out so that it's more of an even balance between how much I'm wearing each set of tires. And so I might as well just leave him on push and have him use up the life in these since I want him to come in a little bit quicker. And for these kind of stints, I think I want to keep them in that middle sector in terms of the tire temperature, so that they're not quite trying to use all the life of them. They're, you know, staying in that middle section and pushing a little bit more than I would if I was trying to get the max out of each tire set. Harrison in the lead for now, but he is going to come in now this lap and switch to a new tire. And this will also, of course, mark the halfway point of the race. With grip still at low, remarkably. Let's go back to neutral. And Harrison out in second. About 8 seconds now behind Diaz. Diaz is going to make it without needing to back off her tires at all. And here she goes, lap 47. Let's make that final change. And then we'll ride with Harrison, who will go around for one more lap after this. You know what? You've got enough in your tires. Just go attack, just for the fun of it. I may end up doing that with him for a few laps at the very end of the race as well. I don't see it giving him enough to beat Diaz, but you know what? Make the most of what you have. And there's Harrison. He does turn in the fastest lap, and we want to go up to 48 here. Now you're going to make your stop. Diaz comes out in second. Does not even come close to falling behind the other cars. And then I want both drivers to be on push on the tires as much as they can during this last segment. Because we have the tires to do it, so why not? So there's the 3-lap marker. And it's going to be top 5 on the lead lap. That's pretty much set in stone now. Unless Chapman comes back in, but I don't think he will. And Harrison driving better now, about equally with Diaz, who has fallen off. You can see there's not going to be much left on the fuel at all, so we're not sitting on a bunch of extra here. Because there's going to be less than a lap for each, and, you know, only about 20% in the battery. Honestly, I think that's cutting it a little bit too close. I think I'm going to go back up a lap. It's just, if we have to push for any significant amount of distance of the race, I want to be able to do that, and I can't if it's this tight. So I think I want one lap too low. Obviously, it worked for us here as we enter the final lap. You know, we got between 2.5 extra laps of fuel. I just want to bump it back up one just to be safe, because being safe really is the key thing at this point with such a huge lead. You can see Panther, you know, losing a bit of distance to Steinman. Scuderia having a good day, not as good day as it was. We're going to be just under the 200-point threshold on our lead. And there's the win for Diaz. And then Harrison in second. So, Hawkins dominating once more. The official halfway point of the season is coming up soon. The actual halfway point has already passed. We've got one more race until we're officially halfway home. So Harrison, at one point, almost 11 seconds, caught back up to 6. But that early part of the race, too much dominance from Diaz. She takes the win. So 6 seconds, 25 more to Chapman. A little bit ahead of Saarinen and Sharp, 10 seconds separating each of those. And yeah, 2 cars were 2 laps down, Woodford and Moreno. And then another 13, 1 lap down. So a 30-second win, give or take. 196 points, the lead for us. At the top, as we're running away with it, with Panther, Steinman, Catano, all reasonably bunched up together, and then a little bit further back to Scuderia. Bump back to Windsor. And Van Dort was looking good to get some points for a while, but they didn't do well at the end and didn't pick up any. Vittorio Diaz blew them all away. That's about the size of it. And we're at 100% here, 96% on the Bonnet relationship. So let's take a look at our form. Overall, a 7 for Harrison, but he's been under 6 the last 2 races. The last 2 have been his worst of the year, so hopefully that's not going to be a permanent slump for him. Meanwhile, at the beginning, Diaz had a couple races that are only decent. Has never been under 5, so that's interesting, and has been at 6.3 or better in now 5 straight races. Pretty consistent quality performance from her. Chairman happiness is still peaked, and our marketability continues to creep up slowly. We lose another 250K. Nothing to be done about that. Yes, the APS results. I just want to take a quick look at our sponsor situation. Yep, we've got one more race for Wonderluck, and then they start coming off the board. We get one more sponsor there. We'll get 2 more here, 2 more here. And I'm hoping, see, we got our sponsor appeal level up to 2. Now that's big, because we could get some better sponsors here at the end of the race. And that's, or end of the season rather. And that's going to be, as we get about to the halfway point of the season and start turning in these new groups, that's going to be my sort of way to try to get our way out of this, consistent downward thing here. Is if we can get better sponsors, then, make some more money and at least try to break even. If we break even, we're home free. We can maintain a small debt. I just don't want to, even a modest debt. I don't want to keep that going downward permanently. So, anyway, that's where we are. Guildford is up next, the final race of the first half of the year. And I'll be back with that soon. Thanks for watching. More Motorsport Manager coming your way.